Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're tackling a really big one. The current state and, well, the electrifying future of green energy.
Mm.
We've got this recent report from Exactitude Consultancy. It's called Green Energy Market Trends, Growth Drivers, and Regional Analysis. And honestly, the sheer scale is, wow.
It really is. It's a seismic shift we're seeing. This isn't some fringe thing anymore.
Right.
The report puts the global market at what, around $1.5 trillion
Yeah.
just for 2024?
1.5 trillion.
Yeah. And the projections, they have it soaring to maybe $4.5 trillion by 2034.
Wow.
We're looking at a compound annual growth rate that's the average yearly growth somewhere between, say, 8.2% and 8.7%. Pretty significant.
Okay, trillion-dollar figures. Let's try and get our arms around this.
Yeah.
Our mission today is really to understand what's powering this growth spurt.
Right.
You know, how the market breaks down now, which regions are leading, the tech involved.
Key technologies, yeah.
And we'll focus on the main renewable sources,
Well,
solar, wind, hydro, geothermal, and biomass.
exactly. We want to give you a clear picture, really, of this landscape because it's changing so fast.
Yeah.
And knowing these trends is...
Well, it's becoming crucial whether you're in business, policy, or just, curious about where our energy is coming from.
Okay, so let's dive in. What's making this market just explode?
Yeah.
The report points to a few key drivers. Top of the list seems to be government policies, incentives.
Absolutely fundamental. Things like tax credits, subsidies, regulations, they create the framework.
Right.
Across the globe, governments are recognizing, the need to act on climate change. These policies give the industry the certainty it needs.
Makes sense. They level the playing field a bit.
Pretty much, yeah. Makes renewable projects much more attractive investments.
Okay, then the tech part, technological advancement. This sounds exciting.
It is. We're not just talking small improvements. It's real breakthroughs in energy storage, how grids work, smart grids. And, of course, the renewable tech itself. Solar panels getting more efficient, turbines getting bigger. And this tech helps with the old problems, like the sun not always shining.
Exactly. That's been the hurdle, right? The intermittency.
Yeah.
But better batteries, smarter grids, they're smoothing that out, making renewables more dependable.
Okay, and it's not just government and tech. The report mentions corporations setting big sustainability goals, net zero commitments.
Oh, definitely. Corporate sustainability is a huge pull factor. Companies want to shrink their carbon footprint.
So they're buying renewable energy directly.
Yes, through things like power purchase agreements or PPAs, or they invest in their own on-site generation. That corporate demand, it sends a really strong signal.
Right. And finally, us. Public awareness and demand.
Right.
People seem more concerned about the environment.
Public sentiment is a powerful catalyst, no doubt.
Yeah.
As people become more aware of, the costs of fossil fuels, they want cleaner options. That puts pressure on businesses, on governments. It's hard to ignore that groundswell.
Okay, this is where it gets really interesting for me. The breakdown by energy source. The 2024 snapshot shows solar way out in front. 31% market share.
Yeah, solar's the champion right now.
Why is that? What's the secret sauce?
Well, several things. The cost of solar panels has just plummeted over the last decade. That's been a game changer.
Right, I remember hearing about that.
Makes it super competitive with fossil fuels in lots of places. Plus, it's so versatile.
How so?
You can put panels on a single roof, right? Or build these massive solar farms out in the desert. That scalability is huge.
Okay.
And things like polysilicon prices dropping, better panel efficiency, easier installation, it all adds up to this strong economic case for solar.
Gotcha. Wind energy second, 25%.
Wow.
You hear a lot about offshore wind these days. Is that a big part of it?
Absolutely. Offshore wind is growing like crazy. You generally get stronger, more consistent winds out at sea.
Makes sense.
And the technology is catching up, making it more viable, even though, it's complex to build out there.
Then there's hydropower, 18%. That's been around forever, basically.
It has. It's established, reliable, but it's facing some headwinds, as a report calls them.
Headwinds?
Like environmental concerns. Exactly. Building big dams.
Yeah.
It changes ecosystems. It can displace communities. So there are complex trade-offs there.
Okay. Bioenergy, using organic stuff, that's 15%. Sounds broad.
It is pretty broad.
Yeah.
It's everything from biofuels like ethanol from corn to burning wood pellets or waste for electricity.
Right.
The key thing there is making sure the source, the feedstock, is actually sustainable.
Yeah.
You don't want to solve one problem by creating another,
Good point. And rounding it out, geothermal at 11%. I always picture Iceland. Is it mostly tied to specific locations?
That's a key aspect, yeah.
Oh.
Geothermal caps into the Earth's heat. Big advantage. It's consistent. provides that baseload power, 247.
Unlike solar and wind.
Right. But you need the right geology. So it's concentrated in places like Iceland, parts of the U.S., Indonesia,
Yeah.
areas with volcanic activity or accessible heat.
Okay, let's switch gears. Who's using all this green energy? The report slices the pie by end user, too. Industry looks like the big one.
The biggest, by far. 62% in 2024, which makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Manufacturing, industrial processes, they just consume enormous amounts of energy.
Yeah.
So the fact that industry is shifting towards renewables, that have a massive impact on the whole market.
Residential use is next, 20%. That's homeowners, I guess. Rooftop solar panels popping up everywhere.
Rooftop solar is definitely a big driver there, yeah. And we're seeing more home batteries, too.
Oh, right, to store the solar power.
Exactly. Store the excess you generate during the day, use it at night. More self-sufficiency.
Okay. And commercial businesses, offices, they make up the last 18%. Is that driven by things like green building standards?
That's a big part of it. Green building certifications, plus just a general focus on energy efficiency.
And maybe lower bills?
Definitely. Business see the economic benefits, lower operating costs, plus, the positive image that comes with being sustainable.
Let's zoom out now. The global picture. The report has some really interesting regional stuff. North America, specifically the U.S., looking at strong growth there.
Yeah, the projection for the U.S. is a CAGR, that growth rate, over 9.3% between now and 2032.
Wow. What's driving that?
A huge factor is the Inflation Reduction Act, the IRA. It pumped tons of investment and incentives into solar, wind, battery storage, really injecting momentum.
Okay. Then there's China. The numbers there are just mind-boggling.
Aren't they? Investing nearly $680 billion in clean energy this year alone.
Just incredible.
And they're not just investing, they're leading in manufacturing too. Solar cells, lithium batteries, EVs. And they're deploying renewables, especially solar and wind, at a scale nobody else is matching.
India's growth is also pretty phenomenal, tripling renewable capacity in about a decade, up to 232 gigawatts.
It's remarkable progress. They went from about 75 gigawatts in 2014 to aiming for 500 gigawatts by 2030.
500? Can you put 232 GW in perspective?
Well, think of a large nuclear power plant. That might be around 1 gigawatt. So 232 GW is like hundreds of nuclear plants worth of capacity, mostly solar and wind, driven by government policy.
Wow, okay. And Europe, the EU, also big investors.
Yep. The EU is spending around $370 billion on clean energy right now. Countries like Germany and Spain are really pushing hard, especially on offshore wind and big solar projects. They've got ambitious targets.
It seems clear that technology, the ongoing innovation, is just vital here. Energy storage keeps coming up.
Critical. Absolutely critical. Lithium-ion batteries keep getting better, more energy packed in, lasting longer. And we're seeing development in next-gen stuff, like solid-state batteries. They promise even more capacity, better safety, essential for grids and for EVs.
And smart grids, you mentioned those. How do they fit in? Sounds complex.
Think of the old grid as kind of like a one-way street, right? Power flows from the plant to your house.
Okay.
A smart grid is more like a two-way network. It uses digital tech to monitor everything in real-time supply-demand.
So it can handle power flowing from houses with solar panels, too.
Exactly. It integrates all those distributed sources much better. Makes the whole system more stable, efficient, less energy lost, more resilient.
Okay, floating solar panels, that sounds kind of cool. Using water space instead of land.
It's a really clever idea, especially where land is scarce or expensive. Think reservoirs, lakes.
Right.
You deploy panels on the water. It's gaining traction, especially in densely populated areas. And bonus, it can actually reduce water evaporation.
Interesting. And green hydrogen, that name keeps popping up. What's its role?
Green hydrogen is, well, it's hydrogen made using renewable electricity to split water.
Okay, clean hydrogen.
Right. And it's seen as a potential clean fuel for things that are really hard to electrify directly.
Like heavy industry. Steel making.
Exactly. Steel, cement, maybe long-haul trucks, shipping. Still early days for widespread use, but the potential to decarbonize those tough sectors is huge.
Let's talk money. Where's the investment flowing? Global energy transition investment hit $2.1 trillion in 2024.
An enormous number. Really shows the global commitment. And China's dominance in that investment is striking.
Yeah, we saw their national investment figure earlier.
It reflects their strategy, leading in manufacturing and deployment.
Okay, so lots of money going into renewables overall. But the report mentioned energy storage investment jumped 36%.
Right.
While investment in carbon capture, CCS, and hydrogen dipped. What does that tell us?
The surge in storage investment. That clearly shows people recognize how vital it is for integrating wind and solar reliably.
Makes sense.
the dip in CCS and hydrogen. Well, it might suggest those technologies still need more work, maybe more breakthroughs, clearer policies, or just a better economic case to attract that big capital investment right now. They need more support, perhaps.
Okay. But it's not all smooth sailing, right? There are challenges. High infrastructure costs are mentioned.
Definitely a barrier. Building these huge projects, upgrading the grid, it takes massive upfront capital.
Especially tough for developing countries.
Yes, that's a significant challenge. Requires clever financing, international help.
And that intermittency issue again. Solar and wind aren't always on.
Keeps coming back to storage, doesn't it? You need robust storage, maybe other clean sources that are always available, or ways to manage demand smartly.
Policy uncertainty, too, if the rules keep changing.
It makes investors nervous, developers, too. You need stable, long-term policies for these big, long-term projects. Changes in subsidies, regulations, that uncertainty can really slow things down.
And supply chains, getting the materials, the components, that can be tricky.
For sure. We've seen disruptions affect costs and availability for panels, turbines, batteries, you name it. Diversifying those supply chains, maybe more domestic manufacturing, helps reduce that risk, makes the industry more resilient.
The report mentions some key players, these big companies driving things, like NextEra in the U.S., Iberdrola in Spain.
Enel Green Power from Italy, Ørsted from Denmark. Yeah, lots of big names.
And manufacturers, too, like Vestas, Siemens Gamesa.
Right. And solar giants like First Solar, Jinko Solar. It's a huge ecosystem.
It's good to see what they're doing now. Recent developments. NextEra seems focused on digital tech, using AI, maybe?
Sounds like it. Their patents in digitalization, asset management. It suggests using data, maybe AI, to run their wind and solar farms smarter. Predictive maintenance, optimizing output that cuts costs, improves reliability.
Iberdrola's busy upgrading grids in the UK, exploring green hydrogen in Brazil.
Shows the different angles, right? Grid upgrades are essential for more renewables, and the hydrogen project in Brazil points to that future fuel potential.
Enel Green Power is building wind and solar globally, but also this big vanadium flow battery in Mallorca. That sounds different.
It is. Vanadium redox flow batteries are another type of large-scale storage, potentially good for longer durations than lithium-ion. That project shows innovation in grid storage tech.
Right. And Airsit stock jumping after good news on a U.S. offshore wind project just shows how much policy and permits matter.
Hugely important, especially for massive offshore projects. That positive news probably signaled reduced risk, progress on a key investment.
Siemens Gamesa is restructuring but also expanding offshore wind capacity, betting big on offshore's future.
It's like it. Restructuring to get leaner, more efficient, while doubling down on manufacturing for that offshore market, which many see as having massive long-term growth.
And Iberdrola Mexico doing R&D with AI and drones, but also community programs. Interesting mix.
Yeah, using tech like AI and drones for smarter operations, but also investing in STEM education for women, social projects, shows a broader view of sustainability, maybe.
Lastly, the report touches on related markets, like advanced batteries, EV batteries, containerized storage, even metal air batteries, all growing fast, too.
They're all interconnected, aren't they? Like better, cheaper batteries help EVs and helps store renewable energy for the grid.
Right. It's a whole ecosystem.
Exactly. Growth in one area helps drive growth in others. It's all pushing the clean energy transition forward together.
Okay, so let's try and wrap this up. The big picture seems clear. The green energy market isn't just growing, it's booming.
Definitely.
Driven by policy, tech, corporate action, public demand, a powerful mix. Solar and wind are leading the charge right now. Huge activity in the U.S., China, India, Europe. Innovations like energy storage and smart grids are becoming absolutely crucial.
Couldn't agree more.
And yeah, there are challenges, costs, intermittency, policy wobbles, supply chains. But the level of investment, the pace of development, it really feels like a massive shift is underway.
It's a fundamental reshaping of how we get our energy.
Yeah.
No doubt about it. This report makes that very clear. It's a long-term thing.
Right. Which leads us to a final thought for you listening. Considering this huge investment, these ambitious global targets, how might this shift, this growing reliance on renewables like solar and wind, how might it reshape not just our power grids, but our daily lives in ways maybe we haven't even thought of yet? What unexpected opportunities or maybe unexpected challenges could pop up as this massive energy transition really gathers steam? Definitely something to think about. Thanks for taking this deep dive with us today.